Have you ever wondered why we make such small mistakes in everyday life? Forgetting someone's name, saying one thing when we meant another, misplacing something important and then having no idea where it went. Are these just coincidences? In The Psychopathology of Everyday Life, Sigmund Freud argued that these seemingly ordinary moments are anything but random. He believed that minor errors are windows into the unconscious mind, openings through which we can glimpse the deeper thoughts, emotions, and conflicts hidden within us. This book shows how buried desires, fears, and feelings shape our daily behavior. And once we begin to understand those hidden layers of the mind, we begin to understand ourselves more clearly. This is more than a book. It is a key to seeing your life differently and knowing yourself more deeply. When we recognize our weaknesses and our mistakes, we also gain the chance to work through them. Imagine being able to look into the depths of your unconscious and understand the forces shaping your decisions, habits, and emotions. How empowering would that feel? Freud's work points toward exactly that kind of insight. It teaches us how the past and our repressed feelings continue to shape the present, and how understanding them can help us break free. As you move through this book, you begin to see that your small mistakes, your dreams, and many of your everyday behaviors may carry signals that can actually help improve your life. It encourages us to know ourselves, to accept our vulnerabilities, and to recognize the world of possibility hidden inside us. All of us face insecurity, stress, and fear at some point, but with the help of this book, we can begin to understand why these experiences happen and how they can be managed. It is not only a treasure of psychological insight, but also a guide to moving life in a more positive direction. Once we begin to understand the unconscious mind, we can start resolving the inner conflicts that hold us back. The purpose of this book is not simply to give knowledge. Before, it is to inspire transformation. As you read, you realize that your mistakes do not define you. They are opportunities to learn, to grow, and to become more aware of the strength already within you. This book can begin a process of self-awareness and self-improvement that changes the way you live. So, are you ready to journey into the unconscious? Are you ready to discover the hidden strengths and possibilities within yourself? Through this work, life can become clearer, simpler, and more meaningful. It is a journey not only of knowledge, but of inner development and peace of mind. Let us begin this remarkable journey with Sigmund Freud. Chapter 1. The Unconscious Mind. Have you ever felt that some of your thoughts, emotions, or desires remain hidden inside you, as if you were deliberately ignoring them or trying to forget them? Sigmund Freud brought this mystery into view by arguing that a large part of the human mind lies beyond conscious awareness. He called it the unconscious mind. According to Freud, the unconscious is filled with thoughts, feelings, and desires that the conscious mind cannot fully accept. These buried emotions and wishes quietly shape our habits, decisions, and personalities. Freud explained that the material hidden in the unconscious often grows out of childhood experiences, social expectations, and feelings we push down because they are too painful or uncomfortable to face. He called this process repression. Repression acts like a defense mechanism. It tries to protect us from what feels distressing or threatening. But the feelings and desires we bury do not disappear. They return in other forms, in dreams, in slips and mistakes, and in unexpected patterns of behavior. Now, imagine what might happen if you began to recognize those hidden thoughts and emotions. You might gain the power to understand your fears, your insecurities, and the inner barriers that keep you from moving forward. The first step towards understanding yourself more deeply is learning to look into the depths of your unconscious. It is not easy, but it may be one of the most transformative journeys you can take. There is immense potential buried in the unconscious. Freud believed that once we recognize its power, we can do more than overcome our weaknesses. We can also uncover abilities and strengths we never knew were there. Inside every person is an inner world capable of generating confidence, creativity, and courage. Through introspection, you can begin to free yourself from old fears and old pain. This is the moment when you begin to take your life back into your own hands. To do that, you must learn to accept your feelings and your thoughts. Understanding why they exist and how they affect you can create profound change. Of course, fear is natural on a journey like this. Going into the depths of the mind and confronting what has been hidden is never easy. But that fear can become your greatest teacher. In the process of understanding yourself, you do not just face your fears, you also discover possibilities in your life that you may never have imagined before. So, let us continue this unusual journey and try to understand the hidden depths of the unconscious mind. It can lead to self-awareness, peace of mind, and the power to take your life to new heights. Everything you need is already within you. It simply has to be discovered and recognized. And once you understand the power of your unconscious mind, you can begin becoming the person you were ever meant to be. Chapter 2. Parapraxis. Have you ever said something you never intended to say, then immediately wondered why it came out that way? Or forgotten where you put something important, even though you knew how much it mattered? These small mistakes, which we usually dismiss as accidents, may actually reveal some of the deepest truths of the mind.
Freud called these everyday errors parapraxes, more commonly known as Freudian slips. In his view, they are expressions of hidden desires, emotions, and thoughts buried in the unconscious. A parapraxis is a mistake that appears to have no clear cause on the surface, yet is often tied to some repressed feeling or conflict beneath it. A slip of the tongue is one of the clearest examples. You may have said something by accident that you never consciously meant to say. Even something as simple as using the wrong greeting at the wrong time can reflect thoughts already moving in the background of the mind. Forgetfulness can work the same way. When we miss an appointment or cannot remember someone's name, it may not be simple absent-mindedness. Sometimes the unconscious is responding to a person or event with a feeling we have not fully acknowledged. Misplacing objects can also carry meaning. We set down our glasses or our keys and then cannot find them anywhere. Freud suggested that even this kind of carelessness may reflect inner tension, conflict, or resistance. He believed that parapraxis is often a disguised expression of repressed emotion and desire. The unconscious keeps trying to bring hidden thoughts to the surface even when the conscious mind is trying to suppress them. If you feel anger towards someone but do not want to admit it, that anger may still reveal itself indirectly through your words or your behavior. We often feel embarrassed by our mistakes, but paying attention to them can become a powerful path towards self-knowledge and growth. When you stop treating every mistake as random and begin examining it more closely, you may find that it points towards something deeply true inside you. If you keep forgetting something, ask yourself whether it is connected to stress. If your tongue keeps slipping, consider whether there is a thought or feeling you have been unconsciously trying to hide. Questions like these invite you to look inward and understand yourself more honestly. There is another benefit to understanding parapraxis. It can help us develop better self-control and better communication. Once you begin recognizing the deeper causes behind your mistakes, you don't just learn more about your own vulnerabilities, you also become better able to improve your relationships with other people. If, instead of suppressing emotion, you learn to express it in healthier ways, your communication can become clearer, stronger, and more honest. That's why it's so important to understand that mistakes are not proof of weakness. They are part of the journey of self-discovery. Freud's insight encourages us to see mistakes from a different angle. Every time you make one, treat it as a signal. Your unconscious may be trying to tell you something. It may be inviting you to understand yourself better, to accept your feelings more fully, and to bring greater balance and strength into your life. Parapraxis is not just a collection of errors. It's a series of windows opening to the hidden world within you. Pay attention to the signals buried in your words, your actions, and your mistakes. That's where self-knowledge begins, and that's where a more conscious and empowered life can take shape. Chapter 3. Dream Analysis. Have you ever wondered what your dreams really mean? Why some dreams leave you with a sense of joy, while others fill you with fear or unease? Freud believed that dreams are one of the most important keys to understanding the hidden depths of the human mind. In his view, dreams are not meaningless fragments of thought. They are the language of the unconscious. Freud argued that dreams express buried thoughts, wishes, and emotions that cannot easily enter conscious awareness. He explained that our dreams often reflect repressed desires. While we are awake, the conscious mind filters, controls, and suppresses many of the thoughts and feelings rising from the unconscious. But in sleep, that filter grows weaker. Hidden wishes, emotions, and anxieties begin to emerge in the form of dreams. In that sense, dreams give us access to concerns and desires we may not fully recognize in waking life. Freud also argued that dreams are symbolic. The thoughts stored in the unconscious don't appear in literal form. Instead, they are transformed into images, symbols, and metaphors. A dream of flying may suggest a longing for freedom. A dream of water may reflect emotional life. These symbols are not random. They are connected to deeper layers of experience within us. For Freud, dream analysis helps build a bridge between the conscious and the unconscious mind. When we try to understand our dreams, we begin reaching thoughts and emotions that may be influencing many parts of our lives. This process gives us a chance to understand fear, insecurity, and repressed feeling, and perhaps begin resolving them. Dreams are not only a subject for psychological interpretation, they can also become a source of creativity and inspiration. When we pay attention to them and try to understand what they are saying, they can bring new clarity and purpose into our lives. Nightmares, for example, often reflect fears and anxieties hidden in the unconscious. By analyzing them, we may begin to confront those fears instead of simply running from them. And the stories and symbols that appear in dreams can also awaken creativity. Throughout history, many artists, writers, and scientists have drawn inspiration from their dreams. One of Freud's most powerful ideas is that dreams can teach us what we are otherwise choosing to ignore about ourselves. Paying attention to them and trying to understand them can become a first step towards greater self-awareness. This process may help you recognize your fears, awaken hidden talent, and move your life in a better direction. Don't dismiss your dreams as mere episodes of the night. Try to understand the messages hidden within them. Every dream offers an opportunity to look inward and discover something new about yourself. Think of your dreams as guides from the deepest part of your inner life. They don't only reveal your weaknesses, they can also uncover the immense possibilities hidden inside you.
So the next time you have a dream, do not take it lightly. It may be a message from your unconscious. Write it down. Reflect on it. Analyze it. Let it become a path toward growth, inspiration, and transformation. Your dreams can be one of the most valuable tools for creativity and self-development. They simply need to be understood and embraced. Chapter 4. Symbolic Behavior. Have you ever considered that your smallest everyday actions might reveal something about the deeper layers of your mind? Why do you absent-mindedly twist your ring, keep touching your hair, or snap a pen without thinking? Freud believed that many of our routine actions are not just habits. They are symbolic behaviors, expressions that reveal hidden thoughts and emotions in the unconscious.
Symbolic behavior includes actions that point toward repressed desires, anxieties, or buried emotion. These actions often happen automatically without conscious intent, but they may still carry meaning. Tearing paper or breaking a pen may reflect inner restlessness or tension. Checking the time again and again may suggest anxiety or a growing sensitivity to pressure. Cracking your fingers may be a way of trying to calm yourself. Repeatedly checking your phone can reflect insecurity or a desire for connection. When we begin to understand the meaning hidden behind these seemingly small behaviors, we gain insight into what is happening in the unconscious. Freud believed that the unconscious is constantly sending signals, but most of us ignore them. Symbolic behavior is one of the ways those signals appear. If you keep twisting your ring during an important meeting, it may point to anxiety or a lack of confidence. If you repeatedly clean the same thing, it may reflect a deeper desire for control. Once we recognize these symbolic actions, we can begin to understand what the unconscious is trying to say. Learning to identify symbolic behavior and change it in healthier ways can become a major step in personal growth. It gives us a chance to notice the patterns shaping our behavior. If you tend to break pens when you are under stress, recognize that pattern and replace it with a healthier response, like deep breathing or quiet reflection. If you find yourself constantly checking your phone, take it as a sign that you may need distance from digital noise and a return to stillness. This kind of awareness does more than improve behavior. It can bring greater balance and peace into life. It is also important to bring your daily actions into alignment with your values and your goals. Pay attention to what you do. Every time a symbolic behavior appears, notice it. Ask what it might mean. At the end of the day, reflect on which behaviors kept repeating and what they may reveal about your inner state. Your habits and everyday actions are not just routines. They are reflections of your personality, your thoughts, and your emotions. Once you start understanding them, you can recognize your weaknesses more clearly and begin turning them into strengths. Remember that every action, no matter how small, may carry a message from the deeper mind. The power to understand those messages and transform them in a positive direction is in your hands. Let symbolic behavior become an important part of how you understand yourself and grow. From this moment on, observe your actions more carefully. Listen to what they are saying. Use them as tools to improve your life. By understanding your habits and behavior, you can come to know yourself more deeply and give your life a new direction. That is the power of self-awareness, and that is one of the keys to a balanced and fulfilling life. Chapter 5: Neurosis and Repression. Have you ever felt that old experiences still trouble you, as if you want to escape them but they remain buried somewhere deep within the mind, always trying to return? Freud used the term neurosis to describe this kind of mental condition, a state shaped by unresolved inner conflict. According to Freud, unconscious feelings and repressed memories can disturb our peace of mind and lead to neurosis. Freud believed neurosis develops when two opposing emotions or desires collide within us. One of them may feel so painful or unacceptable that the mind tries to repress it. But repression doesn't destroy the feeling. It only pushes it into the unconscious, where it continues to affect both mental and physical life. Recurring anxiety or panic may be a sign of unresolved inner conflict. Sadness and despair may arise when emotional pain remains unacknowledged. Even physical symptoms, such as headaches, stomach pain, or other forms of tension, can sometimes be connected to what has been repressed. Repression is a psychological defense mechanism. It tries to protect us from painful experiences and uncomfortable feelings. It may help us forget negative events from the past, but it comes with a cost. Repressed emotions keep trying to rise back up to the surface. When we suppress our feelings, they may gradually emerge as anger, frustration, or insecurity. And if these emotions are never understood or resolved, they may have serious long-term consequences for both mental and physical well-being. One of Freud's most important lessons is that we must face our repressed thoughts and emotions. Only then can we begin to resolve the conflicts within us and move toward peace of mind. The first step is to recognize your feelings and accept them. Even painful or negative emotions have something to tell us. Ask yourself what buried feeling or experience may still be disturbing you. Look honestly at the events of your past. Reflect on them with courage. To release what is inside, speak to someone you trust. Write in a journal. Express yourself through some creative form. It is deeply important to give emotion a way out instead of forcing it down. And if your feelings are especially deep or complex, there is no shame in seeking help from a psychologist or counselor.
Freud's insight reminds us that old memories and emotions are not only burdens, they can also become opportunities to understand life more deeply and shape it more wisely. When you begin opening the layers of the past, you may discover that the very things you once feared can become sources of strength. Face your fears, identify what holds you back, and think about it honestly. That is how the path toward peace begins. Turn pain into strength. The struggles and hardships of the past are part of what has shaped your life. Instead of seeing them only as weaknesses, learn to transform them into sources of resilience. Let your experiences become motivation. Learn from them. Use them to create change in your life. Running from the past is not a solution. Facing the emotions and experiences hidden within you takes courage, but it can lead to genuine freedom and peace of mind. If you want to lighten the burden you carry, look inward and try to understand the real source of your fear and anxiety. This journey will not be easy, but it can reshape you into someone new. Embrace the emotional wounds of the past. Heal them. Fill your life with greater balance and happiness. You already possess the strength to move through conflict and emerge from it. What is needed is trust in yourself and the willingness to understand the depths of your own mind. That is the key to self-improvement and lasting inner peace. Chapter 6. Culture and Society. Have you ever felt the tension between what you truly want and what society expects from you? Our thoughts, emotions, and choices are deeply influenced by culture and society, and that influence settles into the unconscious in ways we often don't even notice. Freud argued that social rules and cultural norms shape the unconscious mind. Their influence is subtle yet powerful. It affects our behavior, our desires, and even our sense of self. Every society expects certain kinds of behavior and certain values from its members. From childhood, these standards are taught to us. We are told what is right and what is wrong, what should be desired and what should be avoided. Over time, these lessons sink deep into the unconscious and begin shaping the decisions we make throughout life. Society often determines which dreams seem acceptable and which do not. That pressure can push our personal desires towards repression. Social beliefs also shape the way we think and feel. The unconscious absorbs these beliefs so deeply that our own desires and identity can sometimes become blurred. There is often an invisible struggle between personal desire and social expectation. A person may want to express creativity while society urges practicality. Someone may want to be honest about who they are, while cultural pressure demands conformity. This conflict creates tension in the unconscious. We suppress parts of ourselves in order to be accepted, but that suppression can distance us from self-acceptance and peace of mind.
Freud's ideas encourage us to seek balance between personal growth and cultural awareness. That balance allows us to express our desires while still living constructively within society. The first step is self-awareness. Recognize your feelings and desires and ask whether they truly belong to you or whether they are the result of social pressure. Then adopt a constructive approach. Instead of rejecting society's expectations entirely, find ways to engage with them positively while still remaining true to yourself. Embrace your dreams and your desires. When you begin to understand yourself, you become better able to contribute meaningfully not only to your own life, but also to society as well. Culture and society may try to shape us into certain forms, but that does not mean we must lose ourselves. You can remain original and authentic while still living in harmony with the world around you. Listen to your own voice. Hear what others expect, but give priority to what feels true in your own heart. Encourage dialogue. Share your thoughts and emotions with others. Social norms never remain fixed forever, and your voice may help create change. Be honest about your identity. Understand that your identity is one of your greatest strengths. Do not try to reshape it only to satisfy others. Society and culture may offer structures for living, but it is up to you to decide how your path will be made. By understanding your desires and learning to express them, you can not only remain internally balanced, but also help create positive change in the wider world. When you understand your unconscious and bring it into harmony with your culture, you become stronger, more self-aware, and more whole. This doesn't just improve your life, it also gives you a deeper sense of purpose and pride in who you are. Build a bridge between social expectations and your own desires. Embrace your culture, but protect your identity. That balance is what leads towards a life that is authentic, complete, and deeply fulfilling. Chapter 7. Practical Applications. Freud's practical analytic theory is not only important for understanding mental life in theory, it can also be applied to everyday life. Freud uncovered deep and often invisible aspects of the mind that shape our behavior, our emotions, and our relationships. By using his insights, we may be able to deepen self-awareness and live with greater balance and purpose. According to Freud, paraxis or Freudian slips are words or actions that unintentionally reveal hidden wishes or thoughts. For example, if someone tells a coworker, "I love you," by mistake, that slip may reveal emotions hidden in the unconscious. Observing these moments can help us not only understand what we are thinking, but also what parts of life we may be ignoring, denying, or suppressing.
When you begin paying conscious attention to your words and actions, you can gain deeper insight into your unconscious and begin working with it more honestly. Freud also believed that dreams are gateways to the unconscious. By understanding the messages hidden in dreams, we can begin analyzing deeper emotions and desires. If, for example, you repeatedly dream of conflict, it may reflect tension hidden elsewhere in your life. Through dream analysis, you can bring greater clarity to different parts of your inner world and begin improving your emotional and psychological well-being. Freud also argued that our behaviors and reactions often carry symbolic meaning. A gesture of affection, for instance, is not merely physical. It may carry emotional significance. Giving someone a gift may symbolize love, care, or attachment. Once we begin recognizing these symbols, we can bring greater empathy and understanding into our relationships. We need to remember that other people's behavior may also carry deeper meaning, and when we try to understand that meaning, our relationships can become stronger and more compassionate. Using Freud's ideas can become a powerful tool for emotional and psychological well-being. These methods can help us understand our identity more deeply and live in a more purposeful and balanced way. When we work with the unconscious, with dreams, and with symbolic behavior, we become more aware and more emotionally sensitive. In that awareness, life becomes richer, stronger, and more meaningful. This perspective does not only support mental well-being, it can also help us recognize the deeper purpose of our lives and move toward it with greater clarity, honesty, and purpose. In the end, the psychopathology of everyday life shows us that the small mistakes, forgotten details, and unconscious processes of daily life are not meaningless accidents. According to Freud, whatever we forget, misplace, or do by mistake may point toward a deeper mental cause. These small moments can reveal our psychological state, our unconscious thoughts, and our hidden desires. Much of our thinking and behavior is shaped by the unconscious, and that influence appears constantly in everyday life. That is why Freud insisted that understanding the unconscious is essential to improving mental well-being. Through this work, he argued that the experiences of daily life are not mere coincidence. They are often the result of the thoughts, desires, and emotions concealed within us. And once we begin to understand that hidden inner world, we can begin changing the direction of our lives with greater clarity, honesty, and purpose.